Welcome to the City of Pana's Aldermanic Forum, hosted by Pana Pride. My name is Luke McQuillan, and I'll be your moderator for this evening. Before we meet the candidates, please help me welcome Pana Pride President Lisa Bland for opening remarks. Lisa?
Thank you, Luke. As he said, my name is Lisa Bland, and I'm president of Pana Pride. On behalf of our whole group of Pana Pride, we want to thank you for tuning in tonight to this Aldermanic Forum. We'd like to thank the citizens of Pana for submitting their concerns and their questions. And I want to assure you that each and every one was considered, and they will be reflected in the questions that are submitted to the candidates tonight. An invitation was extended to all candidates to attend our forum tonight. And I want to personally thank each and every one that is here in attendance. I hope you enjoy your evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. And now please help me welcome the candidates. Kent Sims, Catherine Stevens, Jarek Korsimke, and Tim Eddy. Candidates will be given 1 minute opening statements. Order was determined by drawing numbers. Following that will be a series of questions submitted by the community. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer each question, and we will alternate who we start with. Bob Holthouse will be timing each candidate and providing updates on time left. Let's begin with opening statements. Jarek Korsimke drew first, so we will begin with you.
I'm Jarek Korsimke. I'm 29. I've lived in Pana my whole life. I actually live in my grandparents' old house on Sherman Street. I work in Pana currently, and I have for the last 8 years of my life. I work for Ameren CIPS on the gas side. I graduated Pana High School. I went through all the Pana schools. I have an associate's degree in criminal justice from Lakeland, and I also did some time at Greenville College. The main reason I'm here is because I want to be involved in growing the community. I want to see the town better than it's ever been before. I want to make the citizens of Pana proud that this is their city, and I'm willing to work together to accomplish this. Thank you.
Kent Sims drew second. Your opening statement, please.
Good evening, Pana. I thank you very much for putting this on. I have been a lifelong resident here in Pana for 59 years. My family has been established here for a long time. My family has invested in this community in many ways. I'm a retired sergeant that worked with the Department of Corrections for 25.5 years. I also started 3 businesses here in Pana, which 2 of them are still active. I am part owner in 2 of them. I invested many hours in Pana. I believe in Pana, and I will continue to believe in Pana. And I thank you for allowing us to be able to be here tonight. Thank you.
Tim Eddy drew third. Your opening statement, please.
Good evening. I'm Tim. I've been on the council for 8 years. I graduated from Pana High School, lived here my whole life, except for when I was in the service at one time. And I work here at Pana at the high school. I'd like to see more improvements in the city of Pana. I think we can do better. I feel there's a lot of things that are going to be good, and things that are happening right now are making improvements to the city. So I'd like to see us to extend on that and make things a lot better. So thank you.
Catherine Stevens drew fourth. Your opening statement, please.
Hi, thank you for the introduction. I am not a lifetime resident of Pana. I also am not your typical politician. I am here to represent you, the citizens of Pana. I am of the people and for the people of Pana. I reside at Pana Lake. We've been coming to the city for 36 years and decided to become permanent citizens for the past 12 years. I have seen Pana in the best of her glory, however, minus the greenhouses. I have seen the action at the Tri-County Fairgrounds. I've witnessed the fantastic Labor Day parade and cheered for my stepfather, who participated with the American Legion in holding the large American flag as we marched down the streets. I have very fond memories of Pana's heritage with shops lining the main street, and found myself wandering in the various stores to make purchases. I enjoy a great deal of pride in providing the city providing various parks, swimming pool, and hopefully a future skate park for the children to enjoy and make memories of their own. I have entertained children during the Halloween Fest.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's move on to questions submitted by the community. Up first is a question on qualifications. The question is, how are you qualified to serve your community as an alderman? Tim Eddy, we'll start with you.
How am I qualified to serve the city? First time around, I got elected onto the council. I feel like the committees that I've been on is the administration and community support, which I think has a lot to do with the community or the city as far as administration aspects of it. And so I think the 8 years that I've spent on that has really taught me a whole lot to be what to look for and how to try to spend the money and save money. So thank you.
Jared Korsimke is up next. How are you qualified to serve your community as an alderman?
I don't have a lot of experience with this, but I have worked around the city, especially around the city guys. And I mean, a lot of our gas systems run through every street. And other than that, I'm trying to work with the Pana Pride and trying to get to know the community because I have lived here my whole life and I've been around every part of this town. But as far as experience, I don't have a lot. Thank you.
Ken Sims, same question. How are you qualified to serve your community as an alderman?
I feel I'm qualified because I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to listen to what the citizens here in Pana need, want, and to better our city. With owning 2 businesses, actually 3, that I believe was very successful. I actually listened to people's needs in those businesses along with my son. We put our heads together and we were able to work things out. So I'm willing to listen. The experience isn't a 22, 30, 25-year experience, but I will promise you, I will dig in with both heels and do for the better of Pana. Thank you.
Catherine Stevens, same question. How are you qualified to serve your community as an alderman?
I was asked to fill in as an alderman last May. So I've been with the city as an alderman since May. I serve on the administration committee and we help find things that better the city and the community. Right now, I know people are worried about our water system. The pipes are all in bad repair. And before you can make good streets or sidewalks, you have to make good pipes. And I continue working towards that goal.
Thank you. Up next is a question on ordinances. This represents a majority of questions and comments submitted to Pana Pride for this forum. We have condensed those submissions into the following question. What do you see as the ordinance issues within your ward, and how do you plan to serve the needs of that ward? Jared Korsimke, we'll start with you.
I think the main thing is just making sure that ordinances are carried out and within a timely manner, and people are held responsible for those ordinances. And I'd like to work with the city to accomplish that and enforce them.
Ken Sims, same question. What do you see as the ordinance issues within your ward, and how do you plan to serve the needs of that ward?
There's many issues as far as the ordinances that has, in my opinion, been let go because of not having a full-time ordinance officer back many years. Was never replaced. I feel that we have to look into that, get that need, get that position fulfilled. There is ordinances that are probably old that we need to dig into, whether we need to revise them, look at them again. But I'm willing to do both revise them, look, and make it better for the Pana.
Catherine Stevens, same question. What do you see as the ordinance issues within your ward? And how do you plan to serve the needs of that ward?
Oh, I see that ordinances are put into place for the health, safety, and welfare of you, the citizens of Pana. These ordinances were created for this reason, or it should not be taken lightly. It's required if someone does rebuilding, reconstruction, remodeling, or if it's just brand new, that the person obtain a permit, get the inspection, so you, as the citizen, can get a lifetime of pleasure from your boat or your establishment. And for this, we should enforce the ordinances that we have, and people should go forward and try to continue building. But take into the fact that you are a citizen and you want everyone to take pride into coming into Pana and seeing what we do, what we have done, and what we continue to want to do.
Tim Eddy, same question. What do you see as the ordinance issues within your ward? And how do you plan to serve the needs of that ward?
I'm going to steal something from Kent here real quick. You brought it up. I agree with you. We do have a part-time ordinance officer at this time. Ordinances are made to be followed. That's what the council is. It's made out of ordinances. We make them. We need to follow them. The city needs to follow them, and we need to follow up on when we do something with stuff that's not in the ordinance. So ordinances need to be updated. We do a little bit. We get some here and there. Our lawyers done a good job of trying to help that. The main thing in my ward, the one thing I see is buildings, and that's something that we have to take care of, and we can't we don't have the money to do that everything right now as far as the ordinances go, or with buildings. So I'd like to see improvements on it, which we are trying to improve. So I think we're working towards a goal, and I think we need to make more goals on that. So thank you.
All right, our next question is a follow-up to that. What is your action plan if someone calls you with a complaint? What would your response time be when you get a complaint? Ken Sims, we'll start with you.
I feel if there's a complaint made, it needs to be taken serious by every citizen, because if it's brought to our attention, then it needs to be taken care of. My point would be, depending on what it is, there's many different ordinances out there, but if it needed to be taken to the committee, I definitely would want to do that prompt. Don't set it aside and wait. And then after that's brought, don't let it linger. Take action and get things done. Thank you.
Catherine Stevens, same question. What is your action plan if someone calls you with a complaint? What would your response time be when you get a complaint?
I generally try to go out and see what the complaint is about. I will take my camera or my phone and take a picture of it. I will write up a work order and I will follow through. I will get in contact with that person, or they will contact me and tell them whether or not the work was done. I would go to the ordinance officer and make sure that the ordinance is followed by the person making the complaint. And if it's not followed, that we should follow up with fines accordingly.
Tim Eddy, same question. What is your action plan if someone calls you with a complaint? And what would your response time be when you get a complaint?
My response time would be depending on the type of complaint, and with the complaint, I would look to see what I needed to do with that complaint, talk to the individual who has the complaint, and then take it to that department or department head who would deal with that. If it's ordinance, you'd have to take it to the ordinance office, or possibly talk to the police and see if you can get something resolved.
Jared Korsimke, same question. What is your action plan if someone calls you with a complaint? What would your response time be when you get a complaint?
Well, it'd be as soon as possible. depending on the complaint, but I don't know the proper procedures or where to take the certain complaints yet, but I would take it where it needs to be taken, and I would let the person that made the complaint know when and if there's an answer and how timely that problem is going to be solved.
Thank you for your responses. Our next question has to do with how you interact with the city council. The question is, how will you report to the city council the needs of your ward? Catherine Stevens, we'll start with you.
I would make an outline. I would meet with the appropriate committee, be it ordinance or administration or whatever. And I would propose the act that I would like to have acted upon. And I would follow up further with the citizens that are asking.
Tim Eddy, same question. How will you report to the city council the needs of your ward?
Say that again. How do you report to the city council?
Yes.
The needs of your ward?
Yes. Mhm.
Well, report to the city council. I would take it to the appropriate committee that's going to have to go to and talk to them, see what they have to say, if they would take it to their committee and go on with that. Hopefully they would take your consideration and go with that into their committee and bring it to the council. So, I mean, everything has to go through a committee. Not everything, but almost everything has to go through a committee in order to bring it to the council. So with that being said, you just have to find the right committee and the right chairman to talk to.
Jared Korsimke, same question. How will you report to the city council the needs of your ward?
Well, I just have to learn how the procedures work and which committees to take it to, and try to keep a list of everything that needs to be done in that ward and what everybody's complaints are and concerns and ideas, and follow the proper procedures to do that.
Ken Sims, same question. How will you report to the city council the needs of your ward?
First of all, I think if I do get elected, I will basically go throughout my ward and see if there is any needs. I know there is some issues in my ward. For instance, we had the field school project that I spearheaded. I seen that was going to be a problem, and the wonderful people of Pana Pride got together. We cleaned that up without issues, without having to come to the council. So sometimes I think things could be taken care of and never have to come to council. But if that is an issue, I will get to the committee. I will get an answer. I will get back to you to give you a time frame of when we could get an answer. Thank you.
Thank you for your responses. Our final question has to do with community engagement. It is important to advocate the needs of your ward. How do you plan to engage and communicate with the citizens in your ward and serve them? Tim Eddy, we'll start with you.
Community engagement. I think it's important to listen to everybody to see what their ideas are. It's important to follow up on those ideas for the individuals. I like to think that if anybody ever needs to ask me something or find out a question, that they can call and ask me and I can get the answer for them. I may not know the answer off the top of my head, but I would be able to get an answer for them, make things work better, try to get the community to be involved in a lot more. Thank you.
Jared Korsimke, same question. How do you plan to engage and communicate with the citizens in your ward and serve them?
Well, you just have to be in contact with your community, with your neighborhood, with your ward. Keep an open mind, be able to work with anybody, and be able to be available to anybody that needs something, and work with them and be prompt, take everything seriously.
Kent Sims, same question. How do you plan to engage and communicate with the citizens in your ward and serve them?
I believe engaging with the community is having an open door policy. Listen to their needs and don't be closed-minded just because it might not be your idea, or if there's an issue that you feel's light, don't take it lightly and go ahead and close that for them. I am definitely positive in working with other people. If I have to lead, I'll lead. If I have to work behind, I'll work behind. But I'm willing to take on whatever comes my way. Thank you.
And Catherine Stevens, same question. How do you plan to engage with and communicate with the citizens in your ward and serve them?
I think especially during this pandemic, Zoom has been a very instrumental instrument. Facebook has been instrumental. I would like to see a connection to all of us aldermen or the mayor via electronically or virtual. Again, write down what the concerns are, follow up with the appropriate committee, come back with an answer.
Thank you all for your responses. The candidates will now have 1 minute for closing remarks. Jared Korsimke, we'll start with you.
I'm ready to get to work. I'm ready to work together to get this town to be the best it's ever been. Thank you.
Ken Sims, your closing remarks.
Just want to say, Pana, I need your support in Ward 4. I'm saddened that my opponent chose not to be here tonight, but I am willing to be here for you. I need your vote. I believe in Pana. I put businesses here in Pana, and I want more businesses to be here. The biggest asset, I believe, to Pana is the Pana people. We could all come together with one mind, get things done, and make Pana a better place to live. We need to shape it up, let people look inside of Pana with the new things that are going to happen to where they believe that, hey, it's a good place to come, visit, live. The lake's wonderful. We need to push for that. So we need, as people of Pana, get behind each other as one. Thank you.
Catherine Stevens, your closing remarks.
I am currently from Pana, of Pana, and for this great city we all call Pana. I want to see the city continue to grow, to be admired by all who come into our town. The past is history. We have learned from our mistakes. It is now time to move forward, to make a future that you, your children, and your grandchildren would be proud to say, I am from the city of Pana. I am Pana.
Tim Eddy, your closing remarks.
I want to thank, first of all, thank Pana Pride for putting this together. It's very difficult to talk and do this stuff. I'm not good at this. So anyway, I enjoyed it. Thank you. I hope to think that we could make more improvements on what we're trying to do now. That's the one thing that you always want to do, is to try to keep moving forward and not going backwards. Seems like that happens a lot. Let's hope not, it doesn't happen. And if it does, we can get past that. So I'd like to see Pana move one step closer to being bigger and better. I think we can do it. It's always been a great town. I've always been glad that I'm from Pana, and that's all I can say, is that I've really enjoyed being in this town my lifetime. So thank you.
Thank you all. That concludes the City of Pana's Aldermanic Forum hosted by Pana Pride. We'd like to again thank the candidates for their participation and the City of Pana for use of City Hall. I've been your moderator, Luke McQuillan. Don't forget to make your voices heard at the polls on Election Day, Tuesday, April 6th. Have a good evening.